Hi, it's Bedtime Sky here, and today is the day of my long-awaited headphone tutorial. Oh, I originally made these headphones. Here's the before and after because I wanted some cute light blue cinnamon roll headphones, and I was like, I can just pimp mine
I'll
out.
look at these and suddenly remember, oh my god, I made that.
So I did pimp them out, and that was the original video that got over 1 million views. Now for supplies, you're going to need some headphones. I have the Razer Blackshark V2 wireless. This is actually my boyfriend's pair because mine are already pimped out. Next, you need a little roll of elastic. I got this at Joann. It was relatively cheap. It came with a lot more elastic, but I just unrolled it all, and I was struggling the first time I made these, so I ended up using quite a bit. Then you need your fabric of choice. I chose this lovely blue satin. It is a cinnamon roll blue. That's one of my mistakes that from making headphones the first time. But the thing with satin is it's not a very breathable fabric, so if you're sweaty, I probably wouldn't recommend it. But if you have like a lot of hair and you don't like that getting like frizzy from headphones, this will do wonders for like your hair, I guess. I don't sweat on my head, so the sweatiness is not a problem for me. Just get your fabric of choice. It can be whatever you want. It's your world. I'm just making a tutorial in it. Then you need some thread. I have matching blue thread that I got from Joann's, also along with the fabric. And you will need a sewing machine for this, or else it'll take like 6 days and 2 people to do it. So I recommend having some generic sewing skills, or if you know someone who knows how to sew, they probably sew better than me and could probably do this in like 10 minutes. So let's start out. First, obviously, whatever headphones you have, you want to take measurements of. I'm just wrapping this around just to see how it works. I believe this is originally called like draping in the actual seamstress world, but obviously I'm not skilled enough, so I'm calling it wrapping it around. Then I'm making the two ends meet, and then I'm using that as a little marker. So I'm gonna cut a little slit in there. For about how long I want it to be. But also, if you do make it too long, it is something that can like easily be corrected by like a quick fold and then like a hand stitch. So then I'm going to actually use measuring tape and measure around. And then I like to give myself a few inches of leeway because it is going to be stretched or scrunched together, because we are using elastic and we want it to have kind of like the scrunchy effect where like if you pull it, it gets wider, and then it can like it shrinks down to like hold the shape and cut. Then I'm measuring the fabric to match. I give about like 2.5 inches of leeway because it is something that can be like easily fixed if it's too big, but it can't be easily fixed if it's too small. Then I'm measuring the width, about 3 inches. You always want to give a little bit extra leeway because we will be folding over the edges, because you don't want that like bushy end of the fabric being outside and also like tickling your ears or anything like that. And let's cut. These are sewing shears, I swear. These have only been used for sewing. If you're using regular scissors that like aren't brand new, you might struggle a little bit just because you need really sharp scissors to cut fabric, and it's a bitch, honestly. here I have 2 pieces of the same length. Now here we have my lovely, lovely elastic. And I'm about to trim part of this off because it is uneven. But first I'm gonna like see, because if it's not too uneven, I'll just have like a little bit more of a fold over on one end. But this was way too uneven in the first place, so I ended up trimming that little piece off. And then just go in with it. And the thing about this, it doesn't have to be perfect. They're just headphones. Headphones, you're the main person that's going to be seeing them most of the time. Just do it to your liking. If you're happy with your end result, that's all that matters. Because, I don't know, while I was making these, I was pissed about my end result. And then I was like, actually, these look great. They aren't like what I was expecting to make, but they're pretty good. And I don't know, maybe I'll do it again some other time better. Mostly on the headband. The ear cuffs turned out perfectly, better than what I expected. Then we're gonna do a little fold over. I fold over about halfway into the elastic, or I try, just because it's a little bit easier and I want the needle to really get in there. And then here we have me putting my little piece of fabric and elastic under the presser foot without my sewing machine turned on, because I am a genius. This is genius behavior. Also, if you have acrylic nails, I don't know. I don't know how you do it, but you're probably a god. I don't know how you sew with acrylic nails. You're probably a god. Then here we go. You have me prepping, making sure everything's lined up, making sure I'll be able to stretch my elastic without like ripping it out from underneath the presser foot, turning my thread pattern to like a zigzag, because the lovely pink gamer told me I should probably do that because it makes it easier to sew with this fabric or elastic, something like that. Because I originally did it like with just like the regular straight thread, and I don't know, I just think it all worked out fine. You can't really tell the difference, but probably should use the zigzag. Sorry if you can hear my dog barking, she's crazy. And here we have my little thing. Here's me looking for the backstitch thing. And here's me backstitching. Woohoo! Always backstitch, or else your thread will like fall apart. You'll be able to pull that shit out. And here, look at her go. So I'm stretching the elastic as I sew, and has my finger on the other part keeping on that fold so it stays put. I take frequent pauses because I want the fold to be even, but I always make sure that I can like stretch it, and you want to do that stretch because that's what creates that like scrunchy and elastic feel that's going to keep your ear cuff on the thing. And then here's me trying to take a video of myself sewing to post on my Instagram story, only for it to fail miserably. No, just wasting time, killing time, you know. I could have cut this part out, but I like to keep the whole sewing process of it in, because I don't know, it might help someone just seeing it all go through in all one go. And then here we go. Got that fold and pull down. Pull in again. This is kind of the more tedious part, when I originally did this, my bobbin was not wound tight enough, even though I rewound it like 3 times. So my sewing machine kept getting jammed. My bobbin kept getting jammed, and I was like so upset. And it made it this craft hell for me. And that's probably why it took so long in the first place, and probably why it took so long for me to make a tutorial. And then here we are, we're getting to the end, the good part, and we're about to backstitch. Woohoo! There we go. Always backstitch. The end pieces don't have to be stretchy because you're gonna sew those together anyway, and the less stretchy they are, the easier it is to like sew them together. And then look what we have here. We have one side of an ear cuff. And like, it just looks so pretty. I'm always astounded that I could even make this. Then we have me posting to my Instagram story to complain about my joints. If you don't know, I have a joint condition, which is why I don't sew that often. And I also had spine surgery, which is also why I don't sew that often. But it is something I love. Then I'm just making sure that it will stretch around and fit my little headphones. And it does, and looks very pretty too. These are, they are kind of hard to put on, but you don't want them like too easy to put on because then they're easier to take off. At least I don't want them to be easy to take off. Then you have me prepping to do the other side. I will not be showing footage of this side because it's kind of repetitive. It's the same thing. But here's me prepping to do it. Also, I think my camera overheated. That also might be why. Here we go. And the end result, I forgot to show me sewing the little middle part, so I'll show you. Obviously, super close up, these aren't going to look as perfect as you would like them to look, but the seam is always like in a hidden place, because you can always put them like on like where the actual cups of your headphones meet the headband, and that's a pretty good place to like hide them, or hide like the seam, or you can put it under. I have them on the back side of mine because it's very hard to tell what the front and the back is on these headphones, and I wear them backwards frequently before I did this, so I just like this better. So I go ahead and fold the elastic in on the other side because I think it makes a smoother effect overall, and I think it looks better. It looks like it's actually the cuff that's on there and not just some fabric I put over it. And here's me struggling to put it on because it is a tight fit, baby. Yeah, this shit. Okay, I was struggling for a lot longer than this. I must have cut that part out, but it was quite a while. There we go. Oh, no, I didn't cut it out. I keep struggling. Then I go ahead and I cut the loose threads off after I'm done. After they're on the headphones, I cut some of the more obviously loose threads out. You can see some on the inside. That's what the inside looks like. Basically the same. These are really comfortable to me. There's me wearing them. Cute. Then I'm going to take them off because I'm going to show you kind of like what I did with the headband, not actual tutorial because these are my boyfriend's headphones and not mine, but kind of what I meant by like hand sewing it. First of all, of course, measure the headband. This one you can be slightly more exact with, but you still want to leave like at least like an inch of leeway because we will be folding over on the length side as well as the width. Just because we don't want those like straggly ends of the fabric to be like all over the headband and make it look dirty. These headphones actually already have kind of like an open stitch, so they won't look as dirty depending on if you're good at sewing, if you're bad at sewing. When I made the headband for my headphones, I actually messed up a little bit and I was so upset, but I wasn't going to redo it because it took me like an hour of hand sewing and my back and my joints hurt. So I was like, this is good enough. Then you're gonna need a needle and you're gonna need your thread of choice. Whee! And then I'm not going to thread the needle because watching me struggle like that is unnecessary. Look, my needle and thread won't focus correctly, so it's just my hand and you can kind of see them. So that's good enough. I'm not going to thread the needle for obvious reasons. That's too much of a struggle for me to do on camera, at least. And then here she is. This is how I did it. Of course, I folded over edge and then I folded down. And I created this little corner, and this is the first thing I sewed. And I sew it into this little corner on the headphones. And because the satin fabric is so thin, it's like not possible to do like an invisible stitch. Well, actually it is, but I just wasn't going to do that because I'm lazy. And now here are the ears. I was going to hand make ears, but I got lazy and got these from Hot Topic. And they're cinnamon roll. They're the perfect cinnamon roll ears. I was originally going to make like massive plastic cinnamon roll ears so they would stick out like cinnamon rolls. But I realized that's too much for headphones and that would be very heavy. So these are actually just perfect. And they match the fabric perfectly and they just make the perfect cinnamon roll headphones. And there they are. Perfectly together forever, my cinnamon roll headphones. If you can't find something on the market that you like, make it yourself. Here's me trying to show the seam that I made on the headphones. I did it kind of badly because you can still see some of the black, but it wasn't focusing, but there's what I mean by like that's the first place I sewed. And then here is the after. Here's just like a better picture of them. Aren't she pretty? And then here's the before and after again, like regular black. I kind of cut myself off there at the end, but I wanted to say thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. I know it's not the best tutorial, but I hope it worked for you.